歧视主义。
In one West Virginia county, there is controversy because of this post. You have a public official here describing First Lady Michelle Obama as, quote, an ape in heels. And then you have the mayor of the town commenting just below it saying, quote, that just made my day. The mayor resigned and the other official was removed from her position. And actually, since last week's election, there have been a number of reports of incidents throughout the United States that have been targeting minorities specifically.
The rise of hate. A protester pushed down a flight of stairs in the midst of an anti-Trump rally at Ohio State University. The student who did the pushing arrested for assault. The bitterness of an ugly campaign taking new form after the surprise election of Donald Trump. Build the wall, a Trump signature phrase chanted by middle schoolers in Detroit, Michigan, taunting Latino students during lunch period. The incidents run the gamut. Swastikas scratched onto doors of Jewish students at a New York New School dorm. Trump Nation, whites only, scrawled on the sign of a Latino church in Silver Spring, Maryland. Heil Trump, a swastika and fag church spray painted on St. David's Episcopal in the small town of Bean Blossom, Indiana.
一如英国脱欧之后，整个社会都乱了套。竞选期间大喊要驱逐移民的川普，当选美国总统之后，排外仇恨的情绪与攀升的犯罪率，正把美国一步一步拖向不安的深渊。
437 incidents so far, an apparent sharp increase. 140 on November 9th alone, the day after the election. Since then, reports have decreased significantly.
而早在竞选期间，歧视的火焰就已经烧到了亚裔美国人身上。
Yesterday afternoon on the Upper East Side, I was going down the street with my family, and our stroller and we were with another family were kind of partly blocking the sidewalk, half of the sidewalk, and a woman walked past, a well-dressed woman. I pointed this out in my letter and my tweets. She wasn't homeless. She didn't appear to me to be mentally ill. She had this nice rain jacket on. She had this bag. When she pulled out her iPhone, it was one of the larger iPhones, a 6 Plus, I think. Anyway, so what happened was as she was walking past, she said, "Go back to China." And later, when I confronted her, she shouted down the street at me, at us, at my family, "Go back to your effing country." So that's what happened. And my 7-year-old witnessed this whole thing, and she kept asking, "Why did that woman say go back to China?" She was actually breaking down the grammar of the woman. She said she was saying go back to China, not go to China. And she kept asking why was she saying that? Why did she say that?
那是10月份发生的事情，是罗麦克，《纽约时报》都会版副主编的亲身经历。他的父母早年从台湾移民美国，1976年在匹兹堡生下了他。哈佛大学毕业的麦克是别人眼中的人生胜利组。但黑头发、黄皮肤的外形，让他在自己的国度人像飘零的夜。
Sandy writes, "Nobody should have to defend their ethnicity in America." Well, I appreciate that sentiment, and yeah, and that was actually partly why I felt so silly when that woman yelled, "Go back to your effing country," and I yelled like, I was born in this country, and some other people have later pointed out to me it doesn't even matter if you were born in this country. Like my parents weren't born in this country, but they're just as American as anybody else. And but it just felt sort of silly having to somehow justify my Americanness, and that really does get at this whole issue of otherness and foreignness that I think is one of the biggest things that our Asian Americans are confronting.
So I was leaving the stage door of Mamma Mia, where I had been working for several years, and was talking to this wonderful, lovely Midwest couple. And after our conversation, they look at me and say, "When did you move to this country? Your accent is almost perfect." And I took a breath looked right at them and said, "Yeah, I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, y'all, so awkward."
Doorman, assuming that I'm a delivery guy because I'm holding a plastic bag. This is 2016.
When I was in the U.S. Army, our drill sergeants used to tell us that we're not white, black, yellow, or brown, that we're all Army green. Yet when a fellow soldier called me Private Ching Chong, when a drill sergeant told another fellow soldier that she would kick her butt back to China, and by the way, she's from California, we had to fight to convince them that we were as American as they were, willing to fight, bleed, and die for this country, yet that was the struggle we took on.
Too many for one tweet. And some, living in New York City, I still regularly get, "Go back to China. Hello, China doll. Konnichiwa." This is 2016.
那次被呛让麦克感觉有些异样，或许是和当下的政治氛围有关吧。然而，比起亚裔感受到的不友善，在美国生活的穆斯林心头涌上的却是恐惧。
Now that Donald Trump has won the election and he is our new president, I honestly do feel an atmosphere of fear.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States. Extreme vetting.
I am fearful for his supporters who will gain more and more momentum, white supremacists who will be more and more empowered to do the things that, that they feel, taking back their country, a white lash against any not people of color, against Muslims, against any minority.
这绝非穆斯林在危言耸听。根据 FBI 公布的最新数据显示，美国境内反穆斯林的仇恨犯罪，2015年激增了67%，是自2001年911恐怖攻击以来的最高点。而如今，川普式言论正转化为不同形式的暴力。
I was on stoplight. He came out of his truck and started harassing me with my kids and my family. Saying, "Go back to your country," and start cussing me out.
Many people think of the Bay Area in California as a liberal place, but it turns out that hate crimes and hate speech does happen in places like San Francisco quite often. In fact, an Iranian woman by the name of Yvette Lolham was on BART, which is the Bay Area Rapid Transit train, speaking to her father in Assyrian. While she was speaking to her father, apparently a woman overheard her and began to attack her.
Go ahead, say it again.
Take care of him. Trump might deport you. You are breaking the law right now.
Oh, wow.
And you
really? Do you know I'm recording you? It's going to go on Facebook.
Go on Facebook.
I'm telling everybody.
This woman is a stalker from the Middle East. She's a Middle Eastern terrorist.
Continue.
She's terrorizing citizens like me, and she will probably get deported.
这些人这些话都让穆斯林社区人心惶惶。
I'm scared of the people that I'm surrounded by. I knew it existed. I knew that I was surrounded by those people. I just didn't know how many. Now I know how many people are against me as a Muslim, right? But at the end of the day, whether or not, Sally says it or Harry says it, I'm just as American as they are.
I lay very much of the blame at the feet of Donald Trump and the Trump campaign. That campaign has, in effect, kind of ripped off the lid of Pandora's box and let these demons of bigotry and racism, misogyny out. And these are very hard things to get back in the box once they're kind of set loose on the land. I think what has happened is that large numbers of Trump supporters somehow feel that his victory has given them permission to say things like the United States, America is a white man's country, those kinds of statements. That's essentially the emotion, the feeling that we are seeing expressed in many cases violently around the country.
胜选后敌我阵营的抗争与喜悦，深深撕扯着美国社会。作为下一届美国总统，川普责无旁贷，必须修补这道分裂的伤痕。
Say it right to the camera. Stop it.